Good morning, seventh grade. Today is Monday. So by now, what we should have done is complete the couple workbook pages as I stated, posted those images. At the same time, you also should have corrected the other two pages. So let's just be clear on everything. Right now, you should have page 109 and 110 corrected with the details provided in the other video. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to complete 111 and 112, so you should have posted that. We're going to correct 111 and 112 in this video. So what I'd like you to do is please take out a pen, turn to page 111 in the workbook, and get ready to correct. So let's follow along. I will share some images on the screen as well. So what I'd like you to do is follow along with a pen. There were a couple concerns before on my end. Basically, some individuals are not writing in full sentences. Please make this easy on me because I'd like you to receive the fullness of the education here on the topics we're trying to review. So this is our lesson here for Monday. Page 111. In the chart below, explain the three levels of holy orders. So holy orders have three levels. Bishop. Bishop would be your first level here. Please double check that you have that a bishop is a man who has received the fullness of the sacrament of holy orders. The fullness of the sacrament of holy orders. This includes the power to confer the sacrament of holy orders onto others. If you take a look on the bottom, there's two images here, okay? These are bishops, okay? The bishops, and you see the individuals, younger individuals, kneeling. Those are individuals who are being ordained a priest. A bishop is able to confer the sacrament of holy orders on others, so they are able to confer those men as priests. Also, please write this down. They teach, sanctify, and govern the people of a diocese. They teach, sanctify, and govern people in a certain diocese. For example, our current diocese of Bridgeport, Bishop Frank Caggiano teaches us. He sanctifies and he governs the diocese, the churches within the diocese, the schools within the diocese. That is his role. When Father Gannon, who's pictured above, we see Father Gannon here, but in front of him you see Bishop Caggiano. So while Bishop Caggiano wasn't the bishop who ordained Father Gannon was ordained by a bishop. Bishop is your first level. Second level, priest. A man who has received through the sacrament of holy orders a share. Please have a share in the apostolic mission. This includes the power to consecrate the Eucharist, the power to consecrate the Eucharist and to forgive sins. So one, they can consecrate the Eucharist. Two, they can forgive sins. There were a couple of areas of confusion on our assessment, and I'll post the scores once they're all graded. There was one question, though, that said, which individual, right, performs in a way the sacrament of confession, of penance? And many people said that a deacon can. That is not correct. The individual who would forgive sins, right, of course, is God, but through a priest. Confessing sins would be to God, but through a priest. Deacon would not be able to. Mistake, could a bishop? Generally, the bishop would not be that first individual whom we would go to, depending, but the bishop could. They are a priest. So they have received that fullness of holy orders. So I took either of those answers on the test, but if you had to just choose one, you would write priest. At the same time, there's also confusion. You may want to jot this down if you feel you were confused. There was a question that said that if you go to confession, can the priest go ahead and tell your parents that you were there? The priest cannot even tell your parents that you were there. For example, they cannot say, Mason was here today. It was nice to see him. I hope to see him again. The priest can't say that because the next step that Mason's mom, dad, or guardian may do is say, oh, where'd you see him? And then the priest would have to say confession. The confession is between that individual and God, not necessarily the priest. So the priest is not able to even say that. And Father Gannon will tell you that as well. A deacon. I do know a deacon who has an amazing career outside of the church. He has a family, he's married, he has children, and he works on airplanes. Basically, his business is with airplanes, airplane lighting, exterior lighting. That's been his career. But on Sundays and on special occasions, he helps serve Mass. So double check number 3 here. A deacon is a man through the sacrament of holy orders who is ordained to assist the bishop and priests in service to the church. They can assist the bishop and the priest in service to the church. They cannot say Mass on their own. They cannot say Mass on their own. They share in the sacrament of holy orders. Please make that clear. Can the deacon baptize? The answer is yes. Can the deacon share in the sacrament of matrimony? Yes. Can the deacon give last rites? No. They share in the sacrament of holy orders. Those are your 3: bishop, priest, deacon. Number on the top of 111, please add the details so I can see. Take a photo of it and you'll post that with 112 in a moment. Let's take a look now on 112. If there's any questions, you could always let me know. 112, sign and effects of the sacrament of holy orders. So we answer the following question in complete sentences as always. Number 1, what is the sign of the sacrament of holy orders? You may want to put a star next to this one because there was some confusion on this, on the other test when we were referencing penance or when referencing confirmation. The sign of the sacrament of holy orders is the laying on of hands. Please have laying on of hands and the words of the ordination prayer. The laying on of hands and the words of the ordination prayer. 2, what is the matter? The matter is the laying on of hands. The matter is the laying on of hands. 3, what is the form? The form is the ordination prayer of the bishop. How is this being said? How is this presented? There's the form, the ordination prayer of the bishop. 4, who is the minister? Basically, who's saying the Mass, who's able to ordain these priests? As previously explained, number 4 should say the minister is a bishop. 5, what does the laying on of hands show? This shows the passing on of a spiritual gift. The laying on of hands shows the passing on of a spiritual gift. Again, take a look at the photos in the bottom here. Okay, it shows the bishop laying on the hands to the priest. And what he's doing there, as the priest is speaking, right, through the ordination prayer, he is passing on this spiritual gift of the priesthood at that moment. So he's passing on the priesthood as Christ trusted the apostles. The bishop trusts in these individuals to lead, to carry on Christ's mission. Next one. What effects does the sacrament have? The effects of this sacrament are several. So get ready to write a few, and on the side, if you need to, on the bottom, draw a little arrow. The effects of the sacrament include an increase of the Holy Spirit, giving the men who receive it the special powers of the priesthood. So these men are receiving the special powers of the priesthood. All graces they need to become good and holy priests, and an indelible spiritual seal. So have these 3. They receive special powers of the priesthood, all graces they need to become good and holy priests, and an indelible spiritual soul. Indelible, please make this clear. Indelible cannot be taken away. Indelible cannot be taken away, cannot be removed. It's always there, just like when we are baptized. Even if, which we don't want to do, but even if an individual doesn't continue in the faith, that seal cannot be removed. It's a spiritual seal that cannot be removed. So please have those three. And the last one, number 7. What mark or seal is placed on the soul forever? An indelible spiritual seal showing that these men have been united to Jesus, our high priest, is placed on the soul. An indelible spiritual seal showing that these men have been united to Jesus, our high priest, is placed on their soul. These men are united to Christ. These men are continuing Christ's mission, because if you remember, Christ instituted the sacrament of holy orders at the Last Supper, right? He told the apostles, do this in memory of me. Jot that down. He says, do this in memory of me. So what is happening here? These individuals are continuing on what Christ told the apostles, to do this in memory of me. The sacramental seal, right, is a spiritual mark on the soul. You might say, Mr. Ray, I remember something at baptism, something at confirmation, right? At baptism and confirmation, we also receive that spiritual mark. Think of the chrism. There's only one seal for all 3 levels, and that's important to note. So number wrong on the top here for the 2 pages. I'd like you to post the 2 images. So that will be our review for today. So there's 2 parts to today's lesson. Number 1, the corrections right here, right now. Stop and pause, go back if you need to make the corrections. Make sure you understand it. Let me know if you have any questions. So that's step 1, post the photos nice and clear. If you forgot the cards from the first post, somehow get them with this image. Let's get going with full credit. Step 2, how am I going to fully assess your knowledge? Well, step 2 for this evening, or for today, what I'd like you to do is take a look at a few videos that I have posted. Okay? There's going to be a few videos that I have here, and you could see on my screen. There's a couple videos that I'm going to post. And what I'd like you to do, please make sure you use the textbook, the workbook, and the videos. That's enough resources. You don't need to use any other resources, because if anything's copied and pasted or too similar to online, you get a 0, and I can still call home. I don't want to do this because I'm trying to do 6 different lessons a day. So please stick with me. And don't copy and paste. If you need help rewording it, let me know. But there's a question on Google Classroom that I'd like you to answer. Really focus on 1 or 2 aspects of the Sacrament of Holy Orders. I'd like you to write a very clear reflection following the details. But 7, you need to read the question first. You need to read what I'm asking, and you need to take a look at the details. You'll post that, okay? It's going to be graded as a 10-point quiz grade. You assess your knowledge, that's a 10-point quiz grade. You all have the ability to score a 10 here, but I ask you if any look similar. I am reading them, so please be honest here. There's no reason why we can't score 10. You're able to utilize all your information. Let me know if you have any questions. So today is Monday. What do you need for Monday? The corrections posted, the quiz grade, 10-point assessment reflection posted. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope everybody is doing well, and appreciate all those who are participating fully. Until next time, I hope everybody continues to do their very best. Let me know if you have any questions. Double Check Soul Studies. Take care.